Now that our PC Linux OS system is installed and updated and we've activated LibreOffice, we could go in a whole bunch of different directions, and it's commonplace for me and others at this point to just start installing applications. You do that through the Synoptic Package Manager, which we've seen before. I'm going to activate that. It'll demand the root password. Putting that in now. And then we could install any of thousands and thousands of applications and combinations of applications. I have my own favorites, and you will have yours too. Keep in mind that you can click on one and get a basic description of it. You can look at either all of them or just the ones that are already installed, or new ones that have just been developed or put in the repository. Notice they're in alphabetical order by package name, and some of them have real nice explanations for what they are. I just saw one of my favorites here, Kdenlive. Let me see if I can get back to that one. Going back in the notice I'm the L. There are just a lot of packages here, but I'm going to go back to Kdenlive. Kdenlive. Here's one, and you can see this is just for example, picking one out, you get a description, a non-linear video editing application for KDE. It relies on a separate renderer, Piave, to handle its rendering. Kdenlive supports multi-track editing. It's a nifty little video editor similar to Microsoft's Windows Movie Maker. You see additional details about it, and you can do that for any of the applications on here. If you decide you want to install one, you right-click on it and click Mark for Installation. I'm going to mark that one for installation, and it lets me know that other packages will be affected by this. I'm going to go ahead and mark all of those, and then I'm going to click Apply, and it'll go get that. But before I do that, I'm clicking Cancel. There's one other application I think is quite important that a lot of people are going to want. I want to introduce you to Wine. Now I could scroll down alphabetically to the W's and find that. It's going to be somewhere near the bottom of the list like this. But there's actually a faster way. I can click Search and type in the name of an application. If I know its name or something in its description that I want, I'm going to type Wine and search. Wine is an application that a lot of Windows people are going to like because it is an emulator. Wine runs Microsoft Windows programs. They like to say that Wine is not an emulator, but the truth of the matter is Wine is an emulator. It emulates Windows, and if you install Wine, after that, you can take your Windows install disk for applications you've licensed or bought or downloaded, and almost all of them will work in Linux just like they do in Windows or better. So I'm going to right-click on that and mark it for installation. It says it's going to download and it'll update this associated library file for Wine. I'm clicking Mark and Apply. So now we've chosen two applications, the Kdenlive video editor and the Wine Windows emulator. Says that amounts to 9 packages that were affected. 123 megabytes of extra space will be used, and 18.6 megabytes have to be downloaded. I'm going to go ahead and apply that, and it'll start downloading those files. Once again, as before, if we want to, we can show the progress of single files so you can kind of see the names of things as they come down. It estimates that we'll have this in about 2 minutes. So I'm just going to continue live narration as this goes by. We might skip this in the final video product. This will give us the ability to run Windows applications, and it's truly amazing how good the Wine emulator really is nowadays. Almost everything I've tried with Windows, including very sophisticated simulation games, etc., and sophisticated sound editors, text-to-speech, really hard, sophisticated Windows stuff, runs fine with Wine. Even stuff that wouldn't run well on new versions of Windows does work well, in my experience, with a lot of these Wine emulations, and this one's a particularly good one. So a lot of people who are familiar and comfortable with Windows will be delighted to find that they can install Linux on their Windows machine, keep their Windows and not have any penalty to pay if they do it on a separate disk drive, like I recommend. And then they can run with Wine. They can run their favorite Windows applications, and the vast majority of them are going to work. You may never need to run Windows again. So 6 seconds remaining, 5 seconds. So once the download step is complete, and it's almost done now, it will go through whatever is necessary to install those selected applications, and then we'll see them in our menu and be able to use them. Downloading file 9 of 9, it says now. 2 seconds remaining. 1 second. Looks like it's getting all of the pieces. If it was missing a piece now, it would alert us at this point. But looks like it got them all, and now it says applying changes. Libraries for Wine are being installed or integrated. And then the Kdenlive pieces. Some more Wine pieces. Here's extra output that just says no theme index file. That's just an information thing. If it was a warning, we'd know. If it was an error, there'd be a more prominent message. In general, these things you can just ignore unless there's an obvious error. But if there's nothing really troubling in these messages, you can just close these and ignore them. So now, Synaptic, our package manager, will once again display what we've got. We should see some differences here. If I look at Wine, it's been installed. See that red or that dark square there? But I'm going to go ahead and close this out and look at our menu now. PC, look under Video. We'll see Kdenlive Video Editor. We didn't have that before. Now I do. If I left click on it, it'll fire itself up. Gives us an opportunity to configure it. It says this is the first time you've run Kdenlive, and it'll take me through the features. It even gives me a little tour. I'm going to skip the tour for now, and checks to see if all the pieces are in place, and it looks like they are. I'm clicking on Next. It asks me what kind of videos do I like to produce. I could choose any of various options, but I think I'm going to do Super VCD NTSC. I like that particular configuration. Ask me what I want to do for additional settings about crash recovery or additional video mount types. I'm just taking all the defaults here. This is typical for installing a video system. Oh, it found my webcam. That's interesting. I'm going to click Next and Finish. And here's Kdenlive, and you'll notice it looks kind of like Microsoft's well-known Windows Movie Maker. I'm not going to make a movie right now, but I have had pretty good success with Kdenlive. It works really well. I'm quitting this. The other thing I did is I installed Wine. Now, that means that we can install Windows applications. We haven't done that yet, so Wine isn't really going to be that useful to us, but I think if we look in here, we might find it under emulators. Yeah, there's Wine. And so we could look at the Wine configurator. Don't worry too much about the details of this. Wine warns us that there are a couple of inconsequential components missing. I'm not going to worry about that. Here's my Wine configuration, and it shows me various components of Wine. It's a tabbed interface that lets me specify my disk drives and my audio. Don't worry about it. Investigate that more when we actually install some applications and see what's going on here. I've also got a volume control and a mixer down here that we can look at. Well, I can see some of the volume was turned all the way down. It's found my main audio devices. It's also found my wireless audio devices. I'm going to turn the volume all the way up on those. Just a lot to play with here, but let's stop this video at this point, having shown now how to install applications in general. We used Kdenlive for that installation, and how to install the Wine emulator. These are two that I really like, and you'll find others that you like. You can explore that Synaptic package manager by clicking on here and doing that yourself. Enjoy that. Install the applications you want and give them a try. We're going to return next and try some Windows applications and see if they install and run.